I haven't forgotten about you guys. Just have been a little chaotic, as you must know, with the work from home thing. Moving computers around. I didn't actually have this computer set up for the better part of 2.5 months. So, hence the delay. Anyhow, just cracking a beer. Let's quit gabbing about the past and let's get cracking because there's a lot of stuff to talk about that's happened in the last few days. First off, we're going to talk about the Warner Brothers move for all their upcoming slate for the year. Secondly, we got some casting news that just dropped as I was finishing work that we have to discuss. And then I'm going to talk a little bit about Mandalorian. Hope you're all caught. If not, spoiler warnings ahead. We are going to spoil up to the last episode. So if you haven't seen it yet, you might want to tune this one on, put this on to play later list and come back and see it then. But anyhow, before I lose my train of thought completely, the Warner Brothers move. I don't know how many of you heard what happened or what it actually means in regards to dollar bills for Hollywood bigwigs, producers, directors, actors, what name you. What has happened in a nutshell and I don't blame them for this. I mean, honestly, although HBO Max is not available up here in Canada yet, but what they're doing is basically every movie that's out in the theaters next year for Warner Brothers is at the very same day going to be streaming on HBO Max for 30 days at no extra subscription fee. So basically what Warner Brothers is doing is they're sacrificing big, huge money to amp up streaming service because they're way behind on everyone else. Like the Disney app, they were predicting, I think it was 30 million subscribers by 2024, and they're at 73 million the last I checked already. And so Warner Brothers and HBO, they partnered up with the AT&T thing and all the rest, the mergers on the back end, business, blah, 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 blah. They all basically are saying, fuck it. We're not going to be making any money in the theaters this year because of COVID. We have no idea when theaters are going to fully reopen to the point where we can put these $150, $200 million production budgeted movies on the big screens again. They saw what happened with Tenet. Tenet came out in theaters. I think its entire domestic run, it made $50 million. And it's like, that movie would have normally made about that much opening weekend. Much less over an entire run. And now Tenet's coming out on Blu-ray next week. So yeah, Warner I guess they saw the writing on the wall as far as they were concerned, and were like, this ain't gonna work. No one's going to the theaters to see anything. So let's just fucking take that out of the equation and put it right on the streaming service. So day one, whenever they release, starting with Wonder Woman on Christmas Day, they are gonna have, somebody estimated it was a new release every 3 weeks or something on the streaming service. But we're talking like Suicide Squad is going this, Dune, Matrix 4, In the Heights, Tom and Jerry movie. I don't know if anyone actually wants to see that anyway, but whatever. But yeah, all these films are going straight to the streaming service for the first 30 days. And then they'll go, apparently after 30 days, it goes back to the box office. So theaters take over from there until whatever the end of the run is. And then you got the home video release with Blu-ray, 4K, all that stuff. Digital release and all that. But the problem is most movies make all their money in the first 30 days. Look at like Endgame. If that had gone to like Disney Plus and theaters at the same time, I mean, granted, well, this was before COVID too, but Endgame was a fucking just a great theatrical experience. If you get the right crowd that are right into the movie, it's unbelievable. It's what going to the movie theaters is all about, is the communal experience. And that's obviously been lacking because of the restrictions, theaters being closed entirely. AMC at one point this year was almost going to go bankrupt and have to shut down entirely, and they might still have to do that if this keeps going on any longer. I mean, people are sitting there thinking, oh yeah, the vaccine's here. Perfect, let's go to the house party. No, it's not. Even with the vaccine, this is going to be a slow start up again before we see anything that even remotely resembles like summer 2019. So, buckle in, guys. We're in for a long ride still. And But whatever. This is not a political, medical podcast about COVID and all that sort of stuff. There's millions of those. Go check those out. But yeah, back to what we're talking about with the Warner Brothers thing. All the main money usually gets made in the first 30s for a movie. The other problem that they're now looking at is all the back end deals where, for take example, Tom Hanks, he signed on to play Forrest Gump. He deferred his salary and said, "Give me a gross of the box office." So he got a percentage of whatever the movie made overall after all this adding and subtracting. I heard he made $38 million for that movie, just on that kind of a deal. Another famous story from back in the day was Alec Guinness with the first Star Wars movie. They wrote him a thing, and it was like 2.1% of the profit margin of the entire movie. And they called back after looking at the dailies, and they were so impressed. They're like, "We want to put it up to 2.2%. Would that be okay?" And he's like, "Can I have that in writing?" And he ended up making more money from playing Obi-Wan Kenobi in basically one and a bit films. I think the bit that he recorded the stuff for Jedi and Empire, he was like a phone-in. The stuff for Jedi, I think they recorded that in one afternoon, and he was done. But he made more money from those films combined than he did from every other movie in his entire career, and his career was huge. If you haven't looked into his back catalog of titles, I would heartily recommend checking out, like The Lady Killers. What other one? Oh, there was one movie my parents loved. I can't remember the name of it. Captain something. He was sailing between two ports, and he had mistresses in both ports. Great actor, though. Bridge on the River Kwai, another one that he did, was outstanding. Lawrence of Arabia. You've probably seen him in things and not even realized it was him. He was good. But anyway, the other funny thing is that nobody was consulted on this move before Warner Brothers pulled the trigger on this announcement. That includes directors of movies that are coming out, the producers that put bunches of money and blood, sweat, and tears into getting these films made, the actors. I don't know if there's any back-end deals for crew members, like, the grips and the sound guys, stuff like that, but I mean, still, shit. Nobody got consulted. Christopher Nolan is fuming. He's just outraged. He's like, this is like, you're taking away the movie experience, which they basically are, because the first 30 days, I'm sorry, and even if there is a vaccine, people are going to be very wary of going to a movie theater. Myself included. I was talking to a friend of mine about this the other day. I'm like, I think the last movie I saw in the theaters was fucking Rise of Skywalker. And he was like, yeah, didn't we go to see that together? I'm like, yeah, that was the last. I was like, oh my god. It's been literally almost a year since I've been to. Wow. And normally me and the wife try to get out to see one at least, every month minimum. Do a whole date. That's what she's into. She's like, we don't get date nights anymore. We can't go out to a dinner and go catch a show or anything like that anymore. I'm like, I know, it's not my fault for once. But anyway, like, this whole situation is going to get really messy, because I think Legendary Pictures, which is the production company on Dune, is talking about suing Warner Brothers for this move. It's getting really, really messy, and it's not looking like it's going to get any better anytime soon. On that note, though, don't expect Disney to be dropping Black Widow on Disney Plus on Christmas Day or anything crazy like that. They're sticking to their guns. They've obviously got a lot more streams of resources than other companies do. Although their last year, oh my god, they took a massive beating with the park attendance, and obviously so. I mean, I'm dying to go to Galaxy's Edge. I told the wife, I'm like, first chance we get, we're gonna go, but not until everything's cleaned up and everything's clear. Like, just even getting there would be a logistical nightmare, let alone getting into the park and then going, like, no. Not until everything's copacetic. But, yeah, so Disney's not going to follow suit with, like, dropping a whole bunch of their movies onto streaming at the same time. They tried that with Mulan. It was an epic failure. Oh, only $29.99 extra on top of whatever you pay per month for service with us already. And it's like, what? Wait, what? Huh? What? No. But, yeah, and then on the same day they dropped for $30, they were like, available for free starting December 4th. And I'm like, I can wait. and I still haven't watched it. I should put that on my watch list. It did look good. I mean, great cast. Donnie Yen's in it. Jason Scott Lee, who I haven't seen since that Dragon end of the Bruce Lee movie he did back in like 93, 94 that came out. Great movie. But yeah, so, it's going to be interesting to see what happens with the streaming wars. Box office revenue is absolutely pitiful. I've watched some reports online for like the box office numbers, and movies are barely cracking 4 million in a friggin' week. That's like, for what? That's like, wow, okay. But yeah, it's not going to get any better until everything, like I said, is completely behind us. And God only knows when that's going to be. So, I mean, we'll have to wait it out and see what happens. But it's going to be a long road. But on to some more interesting news. Well, not more interesting, but a little bit more not COVID related. Casting news. Spider-Man 3, which is, as it stands right now, doing the worst job at trying to stay like super under the hush hush, like we don't know exactly what's going on sort of thing. Like, it's painfully obvious what they're doing. They're creating a live action multiverse. They've already got Jamie Foxx coming back as Electro from Amazing Spider-Man 2, which wasn't a very good movie. For not because of him, there were numerous things wrong with that movie. But that being aside, he's coming back as Electro. I've heard rumors that Andrew Garfield, Kirsten Dunst, and Emma Stone are all in negotiations to come back. Emma Stone maybe not, because apparently she's pregnant at the moment, and that could cause issues with how she looks and stunts and anything like that. But Kirsten Dunst apparently is almost a guarantee. Andrew Garfield's almost positively a guarantee, and Tobey Maguire is apparently still in talks to play Parker again. And now they've added Alfred Molina from Spider-Man 2 back as Doc Ock again. So we're looking at probably Sinister Six lineup being created here in some way, shape, or form. Because you've already got Vulture, who's Michael Keaton. You got Scorpion is still in jail or something. I don't know. Technically, you got Morbius if you wanted to really throw a monkey wrench into things. Venom. Hard to say with this incarnation of Venom they got going right now whether he'd go good or bad. But yeah, and now you've added. I bet you Mysterio's not dead, and now you've added Doc Ock and Electro, and there's now chatter on the interwebs they want Willem Dafoe back as Goblin again. Or I mean, you could go the Dane DeHaan view route and bring the one from Amazing Spider-Man 2 back, but I don't know. I mean, do we bring back Thomas Hayden Church as Sandman? We could. I mean, shit. If they're going multiverse, all bets are off. They're saying that there's not going to be a multiverse, but I mean, come on. How can you throw up the chance of having 3 Spider-Mans in the friggin' movie at the same time? Plus, you've got Doctor Strange is added to the cast too, which automatically opens up the portal idea. So, boom, right there. The only missing member they should get is they should cast Vincent D'Onofrio as Kingpin and throw him in there too. Even if it's a cameo, like him in a jail cell somewhere or something like that. That would be epic. I mean, the rights for the Daredevil thing from Netflix have expired now, so technically Marvel's gotten back. So they could get Charlie Cox back in the suit and pick right up where they left off in season 3 and show us a proper Bullseye and not the Colin Farrell version where he was flinging friggin', what was it? Paper clips? Oh, the one lady on the plane, he killed her with a peanut. I mean, he was playing it over the top. I'll give him that. But I'm hoping he'll be a better Penguin than he was a Bullseye. But anyway, last but not least, oh yeah, Mando. Oh shit, that last episode, the tragedy. I was like, watching the show going on, I'm like, what's so tragic? And then they blew up the Razor Crest. And I was like, oh, are you fucking kidding me? I hollered so loud. I was on the couch watching it on my phone at like 6:30 in the morning or something before work. I hollered so loud, the wife to me, she's like, what the fuck's going on down there? And I was like, nothing. I was like, spoilers, can't tell you. But yeah, that was fucking heartbreaking. His ship, like, boom, they haven't even got, fuck, we haven't even received the friggin' Razor Crest from the HasLab thing, and they already go and blow the thing to smithereens. I mean, unless there's a difference, say in the comments down below if you know what, because I looked it up. Like most ships in the Star Wars universe have like this like nation, like the Falcon's the YT-1300 Corellian light freighter, heavily modified. But I mean, I looked up and all it says it was a gunship from the days before the Empire, um, that he picked up 9 years after the Battle of Yavin. Obviously, modified the shit out of it with the carbon freezing unit and all that sort of junk, but didn't specify what class of ship it was. Because I'm thinking if it's a certain class of ship, he could find one that looks exactly like the exact same class, and then just whip it up and do up all the upgrades again. But I don't know. It's weird. Unless they're just planning on having him not have another ship for at least the remainder of this season. There was one theory that Boba Fett would give him Slave One. It's like, yeah, no, that's Fett's ship through and through. But yeah, it's going to be a hell of an end to the season. I mean, fucking Gideon's got Grogu now. All Mando got out of the ship was the little ball that fucking Grogu played with, and the spear, which I hope he jams down Gideon's throat. We'll see. The big question now is like, who's he going to get on this little team? Like he's looking for Bill Burr to spring him out to get him to so he can find Gideon's ship. But then Kara, hard to say because she's all like, "Oh, I've got rules to follow now," and he was like, "They've got the kid," and you saw it kind of change in the look on her face, and it was like, "Oh, if they've got the kid, is it all rules are gone? Fuck this badge, we're going after them." So bring her in, bring in Mayfeld, get Bo-Katan and her crew back in with Sasha Banks and that other guy from was an Agents of Shield. Yeah, those three. Then Kara, Grief, nah, I don't know if he'd be involved in this. Mayfeld, it's a pretty good strike force right there. And then the other question is, if Grogu reached out to the Force, did any Jedi sense him to come looking for him? And if so, who? That is highly debatable. I've heard anything from Sebastian Stan's going to play Luke Skywalker to my theory that it's going to be either Ezra, since we've already mentioned Grand Admiral Thrawn, and they both disappeared at the same time. So if Thrawn's back in the game, Ezra should be too, which means bring Ezra in for the final battle, and then possibly Ahsoka. So you got two Jedi. Oh, wow, that would be deadly. And I bet you the way the season's going to end is them busting into the ship and all hell about to break loose. Credits. And then we're going to have to wait till next fall to see how it ends. I bet if they do, you'll see me on here and I will be ranting. But anyway, let's wrap it up for today. Nice 20-minute episode, nice and short. Keep it simple. My New Year's resolution is to do an episode a week, but we all see how that goes. Anyway, in the meantime, signing off for now. Stay safe, stay warm, stay entertained, and we'll catch you next time. Bye for now.